Welcome to the Stop Over Drinking and Start Living podcast, where high-achieving, goal-oriented rebel women come to learn how to live a vibrant and fulfilling life without requiring alcohol to get through it. No labels, no judgments, no saying you'll never drink again. Just real proven methods to help you stop rebelling against yourself with alcohol so you can drink less and do more. I'm your host, Angela Mascenik. Let's dig in. Welcome to episode 241, Discomfort Now or Later. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast. How are you all? One more week of summer vacay for the kids and then they go back to school. I'm a little nervous. Starting things up again and all the schedules and the sports and the things, it's a lot with 3 kids, 2 of them in middle school, 1 of them in 5th grade. So I've enjoyed a slower pace this summer with no summer camps really. Kids getting to sleep in and just kind of a relaxing morning schedule. But we're back to the hustle and the bustle and the grind. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you posted. But today I wanted to talk to you about discomfort now versus later. I've been coaching a lot of my clients on this inability that they think they have, which they don't, to say no to the drinks in the moment if they're not on their plan. And they don't like that because they feel disappointed in themselves the next day and they feel tired or hungover. And that's also discomforting for them, right? So we talk a lot about your ability and your need to say yes to discomfort in the moment that you want that drink that you haven't planned for, so that you're not discomforting the next day. Okay, so basically what happens with our minds in these situations is, say it's a Tuesday night and you had not planned to have drinks on a Tuesday night and you get invited over to your friend's house or a last minute invitation to go out to something fun and you're faced with a decision to drink and you're offered drinks even. And in your mind you're like, but it would be better or it would be more fun or it doesn't matter. Right? And then you say yes to those drinks that you didn't plan for. And then you drink and then you wake up the next day and you're like, gosh darn it, like I didn't need that, or that wasn't necessary, or why did I do that again? Right? So that's some discomfort. You're trading your pleasure, your, enjoyment, your feel-good times, you're trading it for not feeling good the next day, basically, whether that's disappointment or feeling physically bad with drinking too much alcohol, for that in-the-moment pleasure. And what you're doing is you're saying, okay, I'm going to choose to feel good now, but I'm not going to feel good tomorrow. Okay? And the more that you can see that, it's like a trade-off, right? You can see that happening and you can fast forward through that scenario and realize that that's what you're doing. But maybe if you could be okay with a few minutes of discomfort in the moment that you're offered that drink, you're actually going to have a total, if you look at the total picture on a pie chart, your discomfort is actually going to be a lot smaller if you just decide to work through your urges in that moment, connect with yourself, process your feelings. You might have some brain chatter, but that's going to be a lot smaller and less discomfort for you to do that versus if you say yes to the drink, then you have a buttload of discomfort the next day. But your brain will tell you all sorts of things, all sorts of lies and convincing you that it doesn't matter and who cares and you should be able to drink. Like, you've got to be aware of that. That's the trickery. This is really the addiction. And we are addicted to alcohol, right? Like, people who are over drinking and find it difficult to stop, there is an addiction process going on there. It's nothing to be scared of, but alcohol is a drug and it's addictive, especially when we're using it to make things better or to manage uncomfortable feelings and situations. Okay. We've trained our brain to need that and want that drug in those times where we feel like we want to have more fun or we want to numb and escape and everything in between. And so once you start that process, which is a lot of you, like where we are now, like it's been many, many years of this, when you want to make changes, your brain is going to come in and be like, whoa, 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 what's going on here? You don't need to do this. It's definitely more fun to have drinks. Who cares? You can start again on Monday, right? So it's like this delayed process that you're giving yourself, right? So you trade the discomfort for later, and so that you're comfortable now when you choose to have that drink, okay? And what I want to demonstrate to you is that when you do that, your discomfort is actually so much bigger than if you were willing to feel that discomfort in the moment. Okay, so what it looks like is this. So say it's a Tuesday night, you get invited to go do something, somebody's offering you drinks, and you're battling with yourself in your brain, like, I didn't plan to have drinks tonight, I don't want to have drinks tonight, but it looks so fun, everybody else is drinking, who cares? Like, you might have some of that chatter in your mind, okay? But what I recommend is you remind yourself that what you're doing is trading discomfort to not have discomfort now for having discomfort tomorrow. And that reminding yourself that your discomfort tomorrow is going to be a lot bigger than it is in this moment, where you might have to take some deep breaths, step away for a second, and remind yourself of what you're working on. Honestly, the whole thing could last under 10 minutes, right? Where you're a little bit uncomfortable, you take some deep breaths, you might have some brain chatter, but you're honoring yourself, and that actually feels good. And that will pass, and you'll have something else to drink, and you'll go on with your evening, okay? Versus the next day, you'll wake up, you'll be disappointed in yourself, you probably wouldn't have slept very well, you could be dehydrated and hungover, and that's going to last all day. And the cumulative effect of that discomfort over time, when you're consistently not honoring yourself in those moments, is big. That's actually kind of a traumatic experience that we have when we are consistently breaking our promises to ourselves. We lose trust with ourselves, and that's a huge, huge discomfort that we have. We lose confidence that we can make changes. We don't try because we're so disappointed that we're going to fail again, or we're scared that we're going to fail again. So we have longer episodes of not following through for ourselves, and we get frustrated with that, and it's very uncomfortable to be in that situation. And if you think about what it feels like to not trust yourself, like that is like this low hum, like disappointment that we have about who we are and what we're doing. And I promise you, that is way worse than working through a couple urges and some mind chatter in the moment. So it's costing you so much future contentment, so much future joy, so many future positive feelings for that 10-minute exchange where you might have to choose, you know what, I'm going to feel discomfort now in this moment when I'm being offered these drinks, or there's an opportunity for me to drink, for future comfort that I'm so looking forward to experiencing for myself. I'm looking forward to experiencing trusting myself. And this one decision right now is going to help me do that. And so you lean into it, and you take a deep breath, and you relax and say, this is uncomfortable, but I'm willing to be with it because I want to feel good tomorrow, and I want to build trust with myself, and I want to move the needle towards my goals with alcohol. Okay? So think about that exchange. It's like a money exchange. It's a value exchange. It's an emotional exchange that you're doing in that moment when you're offered a drink, or your mind suggests that you should drink off your plan. Remind yourself, I am sacrificing future peace, future freedom, future feel-good feelings for numbing out right now, or escaping right now, or saying yes to this drink right now. And you might choose to do that, but at least you are conscious, and you're the one running that show, right? I don't recommend that you do that, but we're not perfect, right? I'm all about progress, not perfection. So just think about that. Just give yourself 5 minutes to think about that decision, to think it through. And if you do that, I promise you, you will make a lot less in the moment decisions. This is exactly how I have been alcohol-free for over 5 years now. So in the beginning, there was opportunities, and my mind was like, ooh, you could have a drink, and I would work through it. I would play it forward. I would play that tape in my mind all the way through. And I would say, okay, well, I know what it feels like to have alcohol because, I drank it for over 20 years. I know what the buzz feels like. I know what that experience is like. I, it's nothing new that I haven't experienced before. And then I think about, what am I going to feel like the next day? Is it worth it? And the answer is always no for me. But I let myself play it out. It's not this super hard restriction, like the thought comes in or the idea comes in, to have the drink. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. Oh my God, no. And like totally resist and restrict myself. I'm like, okay, let's look at this. We know what it feels like to have a glass of wine, right? That's a very vivid memory in my mind. What it tastes like, what it feels like. What am I going to feel like the next morning? I know exactly what that looks like, feels like, tastes like, thinks like, right? And then ultimately I'm like, it's not worth it. I'm sure I can just have as much fun doing something else, right? And yeah, like in the beginning for me, it was a little uncomfortable to work through that, but now it's not. Like now it's not even a thing. It's been almost 2 years since I've even had to do that for myself. I was on a flight to Italy and I was real excited about this trip. It was a trip that I had bought. It was a retreat that should have happened in 2020, right as the pandemic was setting in. And it finally got rescheduled till last year. So by the time I bought it until the time I took the trip, it was a 3-year time span. And so needless to say, I was very excited about this trip. It was sort of a, like a mile marker for me and where I was with my business and, my relationship with alcohol. And I got on that plane and, they were pouring champagne, like to go to Italy or wine or something. And I was like, I really considered it for a moment. And then I, kind of pulled myself out of that. And I was like, no, that's not going to help me sleep good. Like, because I was motivated to have the glass of wine to sleep because I was worried about my sleep on an overnight flight. And I'm like, you know what? I know that alcohol doesn't make me sleep good. So that's a no. But I let myself play through that. And don't be as scared of evaluating that and thinking it through. We don't want to just like totally cut it off because that's part of like our natural rebellion. Is that we don't want to just be like, no, I can't have that. And that's the end of the story. Be like, okay, so what if I did have it? Let's play it through. Think about the whole picture, that whole pie. And am I willing to sit here in a couple of moments of discomfort for how I'm going to feel tomorrow? Yeah. Like that's an easy decision for me to make. It's okay to feel uncomfortable. Like we need to get better at being okay feeling uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable as a human is a normal thing, right? There's all sorts of times where we're supposed to be uncomfortable. That's part of the human experience. So the more you can say yes to the discomfort in the moment, the more comfort you will have in the future. That's all you need to remember. The more you're willing to feel discomfort in the moment, the more comfort you will have in the future. All right, my friends? I love you and I believe in you. And if you still wanted to sign up for Say Yes to Drinking Less, you can. We had our first coaching call on Monday. It was absolutely amazing. We have 3 more calls. By the time you get this recording, by the time you're listening to this podcast, you'll be able to join the masterclass that's associated with Say Yes to Drinking Less on Thursday evening. If you wanted to attend that live, you could, or you can just watch everything on replay and you can still sign up for it right now. So that's angelamascenik.com/say-yes. And it's $25. You get 3 live coaching call replays. You get a mini course with video tutorials where I teach you how to process your urges, what to do if you overdrink, why you overdrink, and then you also get the replay of the masterclass, or you can attend live depending on when you're listening to this. But that's only going to be available to sign up for through the weekend. So if that's something that you want and you want a little dose of what it's like to work with me or a refresher, go ahead and sign up for it. I love you. We'll see you next week. Bye.